Hey, so I'm Lindsay Partridge, and today's video we're going to do a bit of obstacle riding and help to build Mystique's confidence with some of the different obstacles that we might face on the trail. So let's take a look at some of the obstacles.
The first obstacle I'm starting with here is sideways over a pole, and you can see in the beginning she sort of struggled a little bit, didn't know what I wanted. So there, when she found herself over top of the pole, I'm just stopping and giving her some love and letting her know that that's what I wanted her to do, and then continuing with sideways over the pole. So you can see that wasn't super perfect, so I want to keep practicing that until it gets smoother. And then here's a look at the other side. So again, you can see she's a little bit hesitant. She's not really sure, trying a little bit, but not really understanding. So I get her hip over, reposition the front feet, and then ask her to move over, and she understands a lot better that time, which is great. You can see she's got some nice cross-stepping happening. So I just ask her to sideways over the pole and then give her some love. So I worked with her for a little bit on that, and then here's a look after we were working on it for a little while. And you can see she's more confident in stepping sideways over, nice cross steps, not bracing against my leg. And then here's a look going back the other way. Again, you can see she's not bracing against my leg. She's moving with more confidence and nice cross steps in the front and in the back legs. So that's looking a lot better, a lot more confident. And there I'm just giving her a little treat to let her know she was a really good girl. So the next obstacle that I went on to try was the drag. So this is a log, small log attached to a long rope, and picked up the rope and just starting with walking. And when you start doing a drag with a horse, you always put the rope on the inside of the turn so that way it's not going around the horse's bum. So I started with walk on that, and she seemed to be really calm and relaxed about it, not upset at all. So I just tried moving the rope a little bit there, took her over the pole. Just want to really make sure that she's calm and quiet about it. And then took it into trot because she seemed okay with that. And so we took it into trot here, and she's got no problems with it whatsoever. She's not caring at all in the slightest. So I'm just trotting her around a little bit there. So one of the other things that you can do with the horses with the drag that's more scary is when you drag the object towards the horse. So that's what I'm going to do next here is I turn Mystique to face the log. And then I'm going to try backing up and dragging the log towards her. And this is usually where horses get pretty upset about it and scoot backwards because it's something coming at them and they're not moving their feet or anything like that. And here I'm just backing her up a little bit and pulling it towards me. And normally horses would sort of scoot backwards a little bit or get quicker in their back up as the object drags towards, but she doesn't care in the slightest. So I try halting and she just doesn't care. So then I progress to doing it where the rope is behind the bum. So now the rope is on the outside of the turn. So she has to tolerate it pressing against her body and dragging against her, and she could care not at all. And so then I just progress to trotting, and you can see I took out the standard, and I thought that was good to show just because you can see how truly quiet she was with that I was, careless and dragged it right into a standard, and she still didn't care. And there I just tossed the rope from one side to the other, and again, just doesn't care at all. She was really, really good about all of that. So I put the rope on the ground, and just to try something different, tried side passing over the rope and over the log. That was our first time attempting that there, and she was really good about it. So I gave her a cookie there for some extra motivation. And then I go to ask her to go the other way. We have a temporary moment of confusion as she continues going sideways to the left. But I just sort of stayed persistent and said, "No, sweetheart, we're going over here to the right." And she's like, "I don't know about that." So I just sort of stay with it. And as she starts to get it right, get softer with her. And then as soon as she sort of figures it out that that's what I wanted, then she kind of commits to the task, and over she goes sideways pretty nicely. And we're taking it one step at a time, so that way we can set it up for success and make sure I give her lots of reward along the way, make sure she really knows that she's doing the right thing. So that was something new for her, and she did really well at that. So I decided to get more creative with her, and we went on to the next task, which I did backing up in between two poles. And I backed up in between two poles with a caveletti behind it. And I even set this up the difficult way in that she didn't get to walk forwards through it first, so she was backing through it the first time. And this can be scary for horses because something behind them can be scary, and I'm asking her to back up to it, and she didn't care at all. She was really, really good and really confident about that. So I thought, oh, let's try stepping over the caveletti, and she did that no problem. She did knock over the caveletti, but she was really confident about it and willing to try. So then I thought, okay, let's get a little bit more imaginative, and decided, you know what, we could try side passing these poles. So I set her up for a side pass. Sometimes this can be challenging because, again, we're going towards the caveletti, but she just was really confident about it and went sideways, and then she actually offered to go sideways over the caveletti as well, which is even more challenging because that pole is set up perpendicular to the other one, so she has to cross over it entirely differently. So she did that and offered, so I thought, okay, well, let's go back the other way then. And so she thinks about it, and then she figures out her feet and steps over, and did that really, really well. So I was super thrilled with that she was offering to try new things and figuring out her feet. And we were just sort of taking it slow and trying to help her to understand that we can do different things. So then I did a little bit of ground tying, which is something that we had to do in the finals of the trail class at the Thoroughbred Makeover in 2015. So I did a little bit of ground tying, starting with walking sort of slow. You can see I'm giving her the hand signal there to stay. That's my cue for my horses to stay still. And then just testing it by jumping myself and just being a little bit more animated. And she was really good with that. And just crossing from side to side, because sometimes when you switch sides, they can look at you and think that they're supposed to go and follow you. And here I'm getting on from the off side, so getting on from the right side, which when you do that in Extreme Cowboy and things like that, you can score extra points. So just practicing from the right side. And she didn't care at all about that. So then I thought I'd work a little bit on her back up because she tends to be a bit hollow here. So here's a look at her back up sort of before we were working on it a little bit, and her head's up a little bit. She's a little bit bracy. She understands to go back and she's listening, but a little bit stiff in her body. And so then here's a little look after I was working on it for a little bit. And you can see her nose is coming down more. She's softening into my hand. Keep in mind I'm in a bitless bridle, so this is basically just a halter I'm riding her in, and that's looking so much softer that I just hopped off and wanted to give her love. And then we went for a fun toboggan sled ride, and she was just so awesome. So thanks for watching.